What happened to Jamal Khashoggi? Saudi Arabia is promising a thorough investigation 2 weeks after the disappearance of the Washington Post journalist. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. Saudi Arabia has assured the United States it will conduct a complete and transparent investigation into the fate of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo met with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and King Salman in Riyadh on Tuesday before meeting with Turkish leaders in Ankara on Wednesday. Turkish officials believe Khashoggi was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on October 2nd when he tried to obtain marriage papers, an accusation the Saudis strongly deny. Forensic teams have searched the consulate for possible evidence and plan to inspect vehicles and the main residence. Before his departure, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told reporters the Saudi leadership promised answers.
I had the chance to have a number of meetings, extended meetings with King Salman, the Crown Prince, Adel Jubeir, the Foreign Minister. In each of those meetings, I stressed the importance of them conducting a complete investigation of the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi. And they made a commitment. They said they would do that. They said it would be a thorough, complete, and transparent investigation. We'll all see the results of that. They made a commitment that they would show the entire world the results of their investigation.
For more on the Jamal Khashoggi case and the international inquiry, let's bring in our panel. Joining us from Riyadh is Ahmed Al-Ibrahim. He's a political and security analyst. With us in the studio is Ali Al-Ahmed. He's the director of the Institute for Gulf Affairs. Bülent Alireza is the founding director of the Turkey Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He joins us from their Washington, D.C. studio. And Daniel Sowa is director of the Conflict Management Program at Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Let's start in Riyadh with Ahmed Al-Ibrahim. Ahmed, it is now just over 2 weeks since the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi, who disappeared after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The U.S. Secretary of State, as we've just been reporting, has been in Riyadh. He's held meetings with the royal family. He's also been in Ankara. What are you hearing there? What is the Saudi royal family saying about this?
Well, the Saudi royal family is deepened by and sad by the actually missing of the Saudi citizen on the soil of Turkey. And it became a worldwide issue. Saudi Arabia and the leadership, King Salman and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is eager really to find the truth. They are opened an investigation over here with the DA. They're going to basically start linking everything to the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi. Also, they send a team to Turkey in order to basically find where the trail of Jamal Khashoggi, even from Washington, D.C. to the United Kingdom, then to Turkey. So as State Secretary Pompeo said, the leadership over here is really, really committed. He just had a couple hours ago a meeting with the Turkey President, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and he expressed that Saudi Arabia is also committed, and also the leadership of Turkey expressed that the Saudis are really committed to find and resolve this investigation. There were so many issues, unknown stories coming to the whole story, which is make it a movie rather than make it a fact crime. But the Saudi government chose to ignore all these things that's going in the background and focus on the investigation itself.
Okay. All right, let me bring it to the studio, to Ali Al-Ahmed. You heard there from Riyadh, you heard that the Saudis are saddened by this, that they're keen to find the truth. They've opened an investigation, that this resembles more of a movie than something in reality, a crime really. What do you make of that?
I mean, of course they will say that. They can't say we killed him. But the audio tape and the collaborating videotapes that the Turks have prove beyond any shadow of doubt that Mr. Khashoggi was murdered inside the Saudi consulate and Saudi land, and with the knowledge of senior Saudi officials, including the Crown Prince, and maybe on his orders for sure, just like the Americans, and Mr. Bob Corker said, and you read it here in the media. So it's nothing that is surprising for us. The Saudi narrative obviously will be denial and pretending that they have nothing to do with it, but you cannot deny there are 15 Saudis, many of them work in the royal palace. They were there at this time and in this moment when Khashoggi disappeared and was never seen again.
Yeah, point is, if the Turks have proof, evidence, that he was murdered in the consulate, why are they not releasing that evidence to the public?
I think they're using this, they're taking their time, and it's probably is used in a part of a negotiation between the United States, Saudi Arabia, and the Turks. And that's why Pompeo is in Riyadh. He's not really, to be honest, there to ask about Jamal Khashoggi's fate, because everybody knows he's there to see what kind of settlement that could be made. So everybody wins here. The Americans, number one, the Turks probably number two, and the Saudis number three.
Okay. Bulent Alireza, what do you make of what's happened? This took place on, well, effectively Turkish soil, although it was at the Saudi consulate. But why aren't the Turks being more forthcoming with the evidence that they have?
Because they have an ongoing investigation, and that included a visit to the Consul General's residence. By the way, the consul apparently left yesterday, and he obviously did not want to be there when his consulate and his residence were being searched. I think in the fullness of time we are going to get a report, but the question is exactly what is it that the Americans are asking from the Turks. Pompeo came to Ankara, to Istanbul actually. No, actually, he came to Ankara with assurances from the Saudis that they wanted a thorough investigation. Obviously, the one investigation that counts is what the Turks are doing. And the U.S. government is obviously going to watch this very closely because it will have an impact on U.S.-Saudi relations.
Right, clearly, Daniel, the U.S. government is watching this very closely. This is a close ally in the Middle East. President Trump has talked with King Salman as well as Crown Prince Salman by telephone. This is what the president had to say about what's going on. Let's watch this.
We are going to leave nothing uncovered. With that being said, the king firmly denied any knowledge of it. He didn't really know. Maybe, I don't want to get into his mind, but it sounded to me like maybe these could have been rogue killers. Who knows? We're going to try getting to the bottom of it very soon. But his was a flat denial.
So, Daniel, do you believe what the Saudis are saying, or for that matter, what President Trump is saying?
I believe that President Trump is aligning himself as closely with the royal family perspective as possible. I don't believe that they know nothing about this. I think they know all about it.
You mean the United States knows all about it?
The United States and the Saudi royal family know exactly what happened. I think the problem the United States has is that it needs the Saudis for many things, or it thinks it does. It needs them to counter Iran. It needs them for the fight against the Sunni extremists. It needs them to prevent a spike in oil prices a few weeks before an American election. It needs them to deliver the Palestinians to an agreement with Israel that wouldn't be otherwise satisfactory to the Palestinians. Even if you don't mention arms sales and financial investments by Saudis in Trump real estate, you've got a lot of reasons why the Americans want to avoid a blow-up over this with the Saudis. That said, the administration is one thing, the Congress is another thing. And I think in the Congress, there's much more willingness to entertain some sort of action if we don't get some answers pretty quickly.
So what could we see from the U.S. Congress?
What could we see? We could see some sanctions. We could see some freezing of arms deals, if not canceling of arms deals. We could see hearings that try to elucidate the situation.
I'm asking that because the Saudis have threatened retaliation.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of what's made the Trump administration align themselves so tightly with the royal family in the last couple of days. This trip by Pompeo was calculated to show that there's no gap between the Americans and the Saudi royal family.
All right, let me go back to Riyadh, to Ahmed Al Ibrahim.